You've tried every productivity system. You've watched the motivation videos. You've promised yourself that tomorrow will be different. And yet, here you are again paralyzed, procrastinating, wondering what's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. Your nervous system is just living in 2026 while still running on hardware from 200,000 years ago. And that gap? That's what's destroying your ability to function. Here's what your Tuesday looks like. You have a project due. You know it's important. You sit down, determined to focus. And then, nothing. Your body feels restless. Your mind is foggy. You can't seem to start. So you tell yourself you'll just check one thing, email, then Reddit. Then you're watching a video essay about something you don't even care about. 3 hours evaporate. You've done nothing, and the shame is crushing. And here's what makes it worse. You look around, and everyone else seems fine. They're posting their wins on LinkedIn, they're launching businesses, they're at the gym at 5 a.m. Meanwhile, you can't even reply to a text without it feeling like climbing a mountain. So you decide, I'm just lazy. But what if that's not true? What if the real problem is that you're trying to operate a calm, focused mind in an environment specifically designed to make calm focus impossible? Consider this. The average knowledge worker now switches tasks every 3 minutes, not because they choose to, because their environment demands it. Slack messages, email alerts, calendar notifications. Your brain isn't getting the chance to settle into anything. You're not lazy. You're living in a state of perpetual interruption, and your nervous system is screaming for relief. Let's talk about what overstimulation actually does to your brain. Your nervous system has 2 modes, sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest. When you're calm, present, and focused, you're in parasympathetic. When you're stressed, alert, and reactive, you're in sympathetic. Here's the problem. Modern life keeps you locked in sympathetic mode almost constantly. Every notification is a microstressor. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a Slack ping and a predator rustling in the bushes. Both trigger a tiny cortisol release. Both pull you into alert mode. And when you're in that state all day, every day, your ability to think clearly, focus deeply, or feel calm completely breaks down. This is called allostatic load, the cumulative wear and tear on your body from chronic stress. And it's not just about big stress like deadlines or arguments. It's the 1,000 tiny stressors your brain is processing without you even noticing. Then there's sensory overload. Your brain has a limited capacity to process information. Think of it like RAM on a computer. Every browser tab you have open, every app running in the background, every noise in your environment, it all takes up processing power. When you're overstimulated, you're running 47 tabs at once. Your conscious mind might be trying to work on one thing, but your unconscious mind is tracking everything. The music playing, the unread emails, the texts you haven't replied to, the argument you had yesterday, the thing you need to buy later. No wonder you can't focus. You're not operating a mind, you're operating a system in constant overload. And here's the kicker. Your brain adapts to this. When you're overstimulated for long enough, normal levels of stimulation start to feel understimulating. Silence feels uncomfortable. Stillness feels wrong. A single task feels boring, not because it is, but because your brain has recalibrated to expect chaos. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's why people who are constantly busy feel like they can never relax, and people who are constantly stimulated feel like they can never focus. If you don't address this, here's what happens. You lose the ability to think for yourself. When your mind is always full of inputs, other people's content, other people's arguments, other people's problems, you never create space for your own thoughts. You become a relay station for information instead of a generator of ideas. You stop being able to feel things fully. Overstimulation numbs you. Joy becomes muted. Sadness becomes background noise. You're not depressed in the clinical sense, you're just flat. Because when everything is loud, nothing can break through. Your body starts breaking down. Chronic overstimulation means chronic stress, which means elevated cortisol, which means poor sleep, weight gain, digestive issues, weakened immunity. You're tired all the time, but you can't rest. You're hungry all the time, but nothing satisfies you. Your work suffers, but not in the way you think. You're not producing less, you're producing worse. Shallow work, surface-level thinking, copy-paste ideas. Because deep, original thought requires deep, uninterrupted focus, and you haven't had that in years. And worst of all, you lose your sense of agency. When you're overstimulated, you're reactive. Life happens to you. Notifications dictate your schedule. Other people's urgencies become your priorities. You go to bed every night feeling like you ran a marathon but got nowhere. Because you didn't choose your day chose you. So, here's how you break the cycle. 1. Protect your mornings like a crime scene. The first 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up set the tone for your entire nervous system. If you start with your phone, you start in reactive mode. You're letting the world set your emotional state before you've even had a chance to set your own. Instead, no phone until you've done one thing for yourself. Journaling, walking, stretching, coffee in silence. It doesn't matter what it is, it just needs to be yours. 2. Build white space into your calendar. Most people schedule back-to-back everything, then wonder why they feel frantic. Your brain needs transition time. It needs space to process, reset, and switch modes. Block 15-minute buffers between meetings. Take an actual lunch break. End your workday with 10 minutes of nothing. No podcast, no scroll, just stillness. This isn't wasted time. This is the time your brain uses to consolidate what happened and prepare for what's next. 3. Practice single sensory focus. Most of us are multisensory all the time. Music while working, podcast while walking, TV while eating. We've forgotten what it feels like to do one thing with our full attention. Try this. Pick one activity per day where you remove all other inputs. Eat a meal with no screens. Take a walk with no headphones. It'll feel weird at first. That's how you know it's working. 4. Do a stimulation audit. For 1 week, track every source of stimulation in your day. How many apps do you open? How many tabs do you have running? How many conversations are you juggling? How much media are you consuming? Just seeing the number is often enough to shock you into change. Most people don't realize they're overstimulated. They just think this is normal. 5. Embrace strategic underload. This is the opposite of what productivity culture tells you. Instead of optimizing every minute, intentionally underload your day. Do less. Say no more. Leave gaps. Because productivity isn't about how much you can cram in. It's about protecting your capacity to do what actually matters. If you feel like you can't focus, can't start, can't finish, it's not a character flaw. It's a nervous system running on fumes in an environment that never stops demanding more. The world will keep pushing. The notifications will keep coming. But the moment you stop treating your attention like an infinite resource and start treating it like the most valuable thing you own, everything shifts.